Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Drinking Coffee with Evan Dangerfield. Good morning. All right, so I hope your guys' day is starting off well. I'm sure I'll be posting this tomorrow, which will be the 19th. Time is flying by when you're having fun, especially. Something that's been on my mind recently, let's just start off the bat. I have a note, but I already remember the notes. I'm not even going to look at my notes. Is the experience side of weddings. So a lot of people talk about this, especially in their weddings or like in their website and stuff like that. But there's not all the vendors get it, if that makes sense. So I have a couple examples. And it typically is only the like wedding coordinator, planner, or the photographer that tend to do this. And no shade. I'm not, throwing any shade to anybody because I get things happen and you're trying to stay on top of your timeline. But sometimes when you're too worried about the timeline and the shot list and all that, the whole meaning and the feeling behind the day gets lost. And it's really sad to witness as, the videographer, as the person there. And, I try my best to bring it back down to like the moment and make sure they're, centered and know. Sounds so like woo woo, but like make sure they know and they can take the time to feel their feelings. So, okay. So I just filmed a wedding the other day. A few months ago actually, but the coffee break. The photographer, amazing work, love the work, but it felt like she didn't let the moments last. Like she just wanted to get to the next pose. And especially it bothers me when we're doing the first look, right? And setting up the bride. I got some like really cute questions just on the fly of how she's feeling and if she wrote her vows, when she wrote her vows, that type of thing. And just hanging out, waiting. And then we set up the groom. He closes his eyes, walks up. But then in the background, we have the photographer. And I tend to ask the photographer and people around to be like, audio is the most important thing for video. If we can just basically let's be quiet time as vendors so that we can just see what they do. And then when the moment's over, you can kind of feel like a lull. Then you say, all right, you guys ready to move on? That type of thing. So they did the first look and not even like a minute later, probably less, a few seconds later, the photographer's like, all right, like do this. And it you can see on their faces that it just takes them out of the moment completely. And that's a huge pet peeve of mine because I want, first and foremost, I want the couple to enjoy their day and like feel as much love coming from their partner as possible. And if we're just rushing through the day to get stuff done, it defeats the purpose, in my opinion. So I would rather have a messy moment than perfect poses and more time for that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, it's like, it is the couple's decision. So if they want it to be a short first look, like, oh, I've had that before too, where it's like, oh, hi, right? And then she's, beautiful, whatever. They say something and then they kiss and then they're like, okay, what's next? That's awesome. But let's follow the lead of the couples, everybody, because sometimes we're stepping on moments that they could have had forever. And yeah, so that rubs me the wrong way. And it's happened multiple times with different things. And it might just be like a photographer coordinator. Like it might just be a thing that people aren't so used to having audio recording. And I totally get that. Like a lot of photographers tell me that I'm like the best they've ever worked with because I communicate and everything makes sense, right? So it's not like, hey, shut your mouth. It's like, hey, for the couple, they requested to have, silence during this part so that, excuse me, so that they can, talk, laugh, ask each other how they've been, if they're excited, if they're nervous, if they're ready. Um, and that audio is gold to me for their film. And that's how we make films like that are that reflect exactly who the couple is, which is awesome. Anyways, but yeah, I've had experiences where like a photographer will come up and um, in the middle of a moment between them, they just start talking and they don't like read the room first and then enter in to the conversation. But I've also had the other side of it too, which I've had like amazing photographers that know like, okay, like I'm just gonna wait. And it's not even it won't impact the timeline that much. It's literally like a few extra seconds to see if something else occurs or if they say something. And really just paying attention to the couple. So there's like an intentionality behind how I work weddings, and I just wish more people would do that. And so, like I said, I've worked with so many good photographers and a mix of photographers that have amazing work, but their experience side is like not so great. Um, and that's why I love to shoot with Allie because she knows the whole like how I work it and the experience of it, and so she's not rushing the day, and she's very more like documentary style photographs, which I love. Like you can still be for those people who are like know the industry, you can still be a like editorial type photographer without posing every single moment. You can make it a mix. Like make the moments where there's no audio, where the couple like really knows that they want to get some really cool creative things, like dynamic photos with like the dark and the super light lights of the windows or something like that. Um, but then in the moments where they want to just be together, um, like even for the ceremony, I've had photographers shoot on a 35 millimeter for the whole ceremony. And if that's your lens of choice, that's great. Um, it looks good. But when you're walking up, literally like for me to the camera, this close to the couple, which I'm like maybe 4 feet, 5 feet from the camera, and like behind, it's very distracting on what's occurring. And even though those photos are really cool and probably something you could get, after this actual ceremony, um, they I've worked with a few photographers that have gone up there and I can't use that footage at all because, I don't, I'm not like on a 200 millimeter where I'm like zoomed in on their face. So she's going to be in all of them. And if I crop in, sorry for all this lingo, you kind of have to be a part of the editing or shooting industry if you know what I'm talking about. Um, but I digress. Experience is the best. I want the couple even before the call too. I want the couple to not have to stress about extra decisions. Like for example, I had a call yesterday, like a final call before their wedding, and we were talking about they have an adventure session booked and they have an engagement session and a night before session for the the rehearsal dinner and party. And I was just, asking them what if they had any thoughts about what they'd like to do for the adventure session. And you could just see their faces. Like if I have to make one more decision today, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. So, I'm just like, hey, no worries about it. We can actually take care of all of that after the wedding too. And, maybe for the adventure session, we'll do like the fiance, like, he was like, oh, maybe we could just do like an in-home session, so it's super low key in our new house. And I was like, that's amazing. And then we could do something like another day, like a date night, or go up to Sedona, that type of thing. Um, but I was like, don't make any final decisions right now because I can tell you guys are like overly stimulated. So I just tell my couples on that call, because wedding planning can be difficult. Even if you do have a planner, it's just a lot of back and forth, just making decisions. So I'm like, hey, make sure you guys, like, from now, a week or two out, like, limit the decisions you have to make for your wedding, and then make sure you guys are going on date nights, like actually, like remembering why you love each other, and doing the things you like to do together. So it's not this like bad experience, I hope that makes sense. Um, so yeah, that's my 2 cents about the experience side of weddings. And we're gonna go to Texas next week. That's kind of cool. Me and Allie are gonna head up, and we're gonna go to Dallas, Texas, to take a look at a. This is kind of funny. A Malinois, a dog for Allie and I's the sport that we do, French ring. Um, and it's just kind of more like a fun weekend getaway too. And we'll go to Bucky's, we'll go to like a fun dinner or something, check out the dog, and then fly back. It's a really quick trip. Um, but that should be fun. If you guys are wondering what this is, I don't know what I did. I think I sneezed and like threw my back out. So um, I've just a little like back pain, mid back pain, and so I'm wearing a back brace to just like a physical therapy one, to put like keep some weight off of it. And then I've been icing it, and I was doing stretching, but then I asked ChatGPT. I was like, hey, what like should I be doing certain things? And I love ChatGPT. It literally knows like everything. And it was like, stop stretching if it's hurting, and it does. So doing that, seeing if it gets better. I think it will. I really think it's just my allergies this time of season in Arizona is just like killer. You can even kind of hear it right now. I'm on allergy medicine right now, and it's still kind of bothering me. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what we're excited about. Um, and then we just started our own club, which is fun for French ring. Um, we're calling it, since I have like the perfect last name for it, we're calling it Dangerfield Ring Sport. Um, and so that's fun. It doesn't really change anything, but now it's like official. I don't know. Like as a decoy, you have to have a club. So it kind of checks off a box. But, and then what else has been going on? Drop in the comments what you guys have been up to recently. Love to hear it. What you guys do for work. Kind of just, yeah, like to get to know you guys a little bit. Might like spur some questions that I can ask next time. What else are we working on? This whole day up until now, I've been working on a wedding, Henna and Cole's actually, that I just filmed last weekend. Super excited for that. It is, they're such a cute couple, and they have just a cool dynamic. They've been together for like 12 years, so they've known each other for a long time, and it was the moment collection. So basically, the big difference between my like middle packages and the moment collection is that it's only one camera, so it's kind of really down to earth, gritty. Not gritty. Gritty is not the right word, but like very documentary style for their wedding, and I really liked it. It was about 6 hours of coverage. It was the perfect amount to capture everything we needed from start to finish, and then a bit of the dances, and then I took off. And it was really cool. They had a rehearsed dance for their first dance, and like a choreographed them too, which was amazing. And you guys can see that on Instagram right now. We're getting a lot of good response from that, which I'm glad. And then today, in about 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna head out to do a quick real estate shoot out in Surprise, and then I held back. And then tonight I actually have a um, content creation Indian wedding at the Grand Hyatt. I think that's how you say it, Hyatt. Um, so I'm super stoked about that because that's going to be tonight, tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night. So 3 different times. There's a lot of like dead hours because um, just what they wanted to have covered. And then I actually have a guy that got done half an hour ago that was shooting for me that I'm so grateful for. So I'm excited to see that footage as well. Let's see. Is there anything else that I've been up to recently? Still looking at those prices for that camera. Has not come down. Looking at getting new clothes. I feel like every spring that comes around, I'm like, I need to get some new clothes for like work and weddings and stuff. I've been loving the old money type attire where it's comfortable yet elegant. So I'm looking at different brands that can do that kind of thing. And then let's see if I covered some of the questions, and maybe I'll make some more questions for me to answer. We've been rolling for about, oh my gosh, 18 minutes already. Crazy. The heck. Okay. You were talking about my peeve about not letting things play out. No, it's all good. Let's see. We're going to the old Chat GPT then. What should I talk about? Should we talk about weddings or should we talk about something else? Let's see. Let's keep talking about some questions about me for my podcast. Honestly, I could probably just end it here because we've been on it for a while, but I still have coffee. So I need to finish that and have answer a couple questions still. It's kind of wild. It takes me like 30 minutes each time to drink 1 cup of coffee. When did you first fall in love with storytelling or creating? So back in Montana, and even before that in California, when I lived there, I started a YouTube channel, this YouTube channel that you're watching on right now. And I was starting with like making things. I think I painted a skimboard and I was like DIY projects, just kind of using my creative side of my brain. And with a GoPro, I was filming with a GoPro, which is hilarious. And then eventually I was like, man, my videos are crap. How can I get better? So that's where my brother, who was taking a videography class or like a crash course in college, was teaching me some things. And then I found just like YouTube Academy, just be able to learn on YouTube and figure it all out. And then just got absolutely obsessed and captured by it. I honestly didn't even think about doing videography as a career until like videography, photography, until after I came back from Brazil. Well, I was like in Brazil where I was like, oh, this could be a thing. And then I really committed to it when I got back. But basically, like 7 or 8 years ago, is it 9? Might be 8 or 9 now. I always forget. I tell this story so often that I forget how many years it's been. So yeah, okay, let's just say 9 years. We started in California with the YouTube channel, then went to Montana and kept creating and made some fun stuff. I got tons of views for some of my videos, tons of views for me, right? And then other ones, just average. And then I just got better and better, got a camera, which was a gift from my dad, and then learned more audio. And then it really didn't start to commit to it until like mid through my Brazil experience. I was looking at what I should do when I get back. And I was like, whoa, like you can actually make really cool stuff with your classic camera. And people will pay you for it too, because it's like advertising and whatever. It was like the first time I ever heard of that, like as a thing. Mm. And shout out to I think it's called Full Time Filmmaking, their YouTube channel. When Peter was on, he like was the videos I watched to get into it. And then when I got back, I got like the manual stabilizer and everything. It took me forever to learn and to master, and I still am not the best at it. Like I'm sure if I had because I sold it forever ago, but I'm sure if I had another one, I could like figure it out and put it on like a, one of those waist support things, whatever. But yeah, shout out to him. That was awesome. And then from there, I went literally door to door to businesses, and I was like, hey, I'm a videographer. Let's do something. And got paid, like $500, $300 here and there. Really had to like convince people to trust me to do stuff. And a few of my videos, I look back on, I'm like, that wasn't actually that was pretty good. Like I did a boxing video for Madison Boxing Gym, which I need to go back and like talk to them and be like, yo, long time, how's it going? They're cool. We did a video for them and they loved it, but they didn't like use it very much for advertising. So it kind of like tanked, but they still have it on their website and everywhere. They don't know how to like market it, which now I'm kind of offering consulting with that because I have been doing it for my own business. So I know a lot more about it. So it makes more sense, but I always recommend to hire just like a social media person to manage stuff and clip it up and post it, because it's a lot of work to post it on like 7 different platforms. And that's something that I need to look into for my future stuff, is like I need to be able to upload my footage to one platform and my content, and then have it just blast it to all my other accounts. And I haven't found one that I trust yet, because I feel like it's just going to steal my data. So that's a neat problem for sure. But let's check on the time. I just want to make sure that I'm going to leave at the right time. I'm going to surprise today. Yeah, I'm good. So that's kind of what got me. That was my first experience into it. I just wanted to get better, and then found out that it could be a career. Okay, so this is a fun question. How do you go about, what is your process for editing and post-production after a wedding? So we'll probably end with this one because I'm about done anyway. So, okay, so we film your wedding, me and the team, or just me, and then I come back and it's already been recorded on every camera that I use is dual recording, so it's already has a backup, which is awesome. So don't judge me for this, but that's typically what I do. I just leave it for that night here at the home. And then the next morning I upload it onto my computer. So I still have a backup on the other card. And then I make copies onto my 2 external 16 terabyte drives. And then after that, I back up all the footage onto the cloud using Backblaze. And then from there, so then I have 3 or 4 sources where it's saved, which is awesome. And then what I do is I organize it all. So I put it into different files, right? and name them all so I know where they're coming from. Groom, bride, for the audio files, and then A, B, and C for the cameras, and then like second shooter, third shooter, whatever. And then from there, I'll drop it into the timeline. And as of right now, because I don't have an editor or anything, I have a culling timeline and then a full film timeline. And maybe more depending on what other things they want, like a documentary edit timeline, which is like a FOMO edit. So then I go through and I edit, I cull through all the footage and sync up all the audio on the cull and like the one timeline that I just put all the raw stuff on. And then once I get that all lined up, I typically like duplicate it for the doc edit or copy it to another timeline for the doc edit. And then I take that and I copy it onto the full film timeline and make sure all my settings are correct. Then I apply a general LUT using nodes. So I put like the Panasonic, and then I put like a natural native LUT, and I tone them back a little bit so that I have some wiggle room for like other colors to add on to it. And then from there, I line up the music. So I do music selection for about a day or two, depending on how easy it is to find the music I want. And the music just depends on the couple and like their day. Typically, I hit it on point. And then from there, I line up the story of it, which is all the audio. Put the audio on there and kind of line that up nicely. And then lastly, I'll put on all the secondary, the B-roll, you could say, on top of it to help tell the story with the audio. And then after that will be sound effects, sound design, audio isolation, all that good stuff. And then, yeah, that's kind of it. And then just fine tuning the colors scene by scene. And then putting a little bit of grain typically on the whole footage. And then I edit if there's any other special effects like, Super 8 type film or other stuff, then I do that at the very end because it typically bogs down the computer because it's like super hard for the computer to work with. And then I'll export it. Yeah. And so far it's been a really nice system I have going. Got all my hotkeys and things. So yeah. Oh. All right. I'm out of coffee and it's time to pack up and head to my gig. But thank you guys so much for joining me this morning because it'll be tomorrow morning. And I hope to see you guys at the next one. We'll see you.